Welcome, hello, to Shittywebcomics Weekly, brought to you by our Subscribe backers. Donate to Subscribe to learn the truth, become a human again, and find out all the information that the rest of them don't want you to know. Them from the movie Them, the giant ants. From that.
The juice box.
The juice box. What kind of juice box is that? Probably something bad.
Some kind of apple juice box.
Oh.
Or better yet, it's a beverage box.
Oh.
The stupid ass thing. The emote or emoji in Discord.
Oh, the juice
beverage box.
That's the new racist dog whistle, is the juice box emoji. Because
yes,
why wouldn't it?
Zionist juice.
Yes. That's a classic reference. That goes back like 20 years. Pretty good.
That goes back to the beginning of 9/11.
The beginning of 9/11.
The good old days.
Well, speaking of the beginning of 9/11, the good old days of 9/11, we did a whole an extra over month, if you will, an Uber month of
the best kind of month.
Yes, of of Control Delete, doing Lost Month basically, which is more like 6 weeks. 6 weeks. But the one thing we didn't really cover, and I think we mentioned this, but we didn't cover it, was the CAD rule, which was an old rule, or old reference to V, the video games board on 4chan specifically, for aliens from outer space who don't know that. But the CAD rule was every strip of Control-Alt-Delete would be 4 panels. So, and the CAD rule was if you took out panels 2 and 3, it would not only become funnier, but it'd become actually a pretty good comic. And we just found 4 random examples that we had.
The whole rule is take out panels 2 and 3 and then remove the dialogue from panel 4.
Yeah, especially if necessary. Remove as much dialogue as possible, but especially in panel 4. So just to, show the examples and start them off, this one is... I don't remember the character. I think the main character's name in Control Delete was Ethan, but he has
a red flag.
Yeah, he has a drumstick.
Red flag name.
Yeah, he has a drumstick taped to his. Yeah, that's definitely a bad sign. But he has a drumstick duct taped to his shoe, and he says, "Hey," and then his roommate just says, "No, I don't want to be in your band." And then the last panel, or rather the second panel, is just him applying more duct tape. In a way, if you don't notice the duct tape on the drumstick on the shoe in the first panel, it's actually even funnier. Like, if there wasn't any drumstick, any duct tape in that first panel, and you just saw him sitting there saying, "Hey," and then, "No, I don't want to be in your band," and then the next panel, suddenly he has a drumstick duct taped to his shoe, that's actually really funny.
Yeah. It's funnier than he's even capable of.
Yeah, which is kind of sad because I don't necessarily hate Tim Fuckley, but his comic was, well, it wasn't just that his comic was never good, but like he already had turned it into an animated series. It was the most generic, like, animated sitcom. It was like Family Guy 0.2. It was basically like that.
It was not for children, but it was also not for adults either. Yeah. It was basically for 13-year-olds.
It was for no one. It was for Darkside Phil. That was the target audience, was Darkside Phil.
Darkside Fear.
Giga Fear. But Darkside Phil, of course, if you ever actually watched any of the clips or compilations of him, you'll see
this is all I've ever watched of him. I have never watched his actual videos seriously.
His sense of humor is like the dumbest moron you've ever seen, and it's Control Delete is slightly better than that, but the memes are always better. The CAD rule makes Control Delete better, and then memes about Control Delete always made it funnier too. Anyways, here's the second one that just says, well, it's the guy. I guess Ethan is. Again, I don't know if Ethan's the name of one of the other characters. Somebody else mentioned that before. on Discord, someone was like, "Oh, Ethan does this." And I was like, "Ethan, what?" Oh, and that's right. Oh, that's right. He was the name of the character from Control Delete. But he's at a podium in front of a red curtain saying, "Welcome, esteemed producers, directors, writers," in quotes, and actors, in quotes, to the first annual Reality Television Awards ceremony. It looks like everyone involved with the genre has made it, which is great because this is also the last Reality Television Awards ceremony, and then the next panel is just the convention center exploding. And again, it's just...
that one is legitimately funny.
This one also shows...
But again, it's the CAD rule. Yeah. So who knows what the second and third panels had.
They were probably...
the dialogue in the fourth panel.
Most likely, here's why the CAD rule became the CAD rule, is because the second and third panels always in Control Delete were basically filler panels that just reiterated what the first panel was already establishing. So you could just cut those entirely.
And there were a wall of text, too. It wasn't just that.
Which this one is, too.
A wall of text.
Yeah, the first panel in this is a wall of text where it's mostly dialogue. So again, they fixed that.
But at least that establishes everything for the joke.
Yeah.
Once you get that, you don't need anything else.
Same for, here's this next one, is it's the 1 through 4 players, characters that were like, each sort of CKMY colors. And the main one, number 1, player 1 or whatever, is holding like some kind of spiked mace or flange. And it's saying, "Okay, it's real simple. I just want to know who scratched my game. Just come clean, and I promise no violence. Ignore the flail I'm holding. This is for something else." And then the last panel is...
I think about this one a lot, actually. Just the whole... I'm thinking, ignore this. I'm holding it for something else.
Just Chekhov's flail, in a way. But then all of a sudden, panel 2 is... Player 2, who is standing off to the left, is just like dropped to his knees with apparently a dagger through his throat, and he's just holding his throat, while player 1 is still standing there with the flail, not moving, just complete drag and drop art. But they're all just kind of looking over at player 2, dying with the mildest of mild concern. The Buckley face, of course. And this is funnier just because now that whatever happened in panels 2 and 3 is a complete mystery, which makes the comic funnier. And then, speaking of which, here's the last one. The first panel is just a guy. He says, "Man, Guitar Hero is so much fun. I love this game." And he's, holding the Guitar Hero guitar. And then the next panel is just... he swings the guitar at somebody and rips their head off. I don't know.
Swings it at their head and basically is decapitating them.
I don't know if it's the chick character or what. It looks like it's one of the chick characters, but it just says crack as their head is just ripped off and flying into the background. Again,
I can't tell who, but...
yeah, it's funny because the context is being removed, which just makes it bizarre and confusing and accidentally funnier than the original comic.
Yeah, most likely
was ever going to be.
The original was not going to be that funny.
Yeah. Or at least this is funnier, which is quite nice. It's delightful. So again, that should wrap up Control Delete, perhaps forever.
Forever, yeah. The simple fact is that unless we ever get like somebody who has the video versions with all the annotations of the original, his cartoon on YouTube.
Oh yeah, if we did some MS-3K thing of that would make kind of a good episode of Shittywebcomics Weekly.
If we could ever find it, which I don't know.
I mean, it might be on there. I just haven't looked. It's not that it's hard to find. It's that I haven't tried looking yet. What is the difference? I don't know.
What is the difference?
What is the difference? Anyways, so yeah, as usual, thanks to our supporters giving us strange support on Subscribestar and all the various ways that
strange support, weirdo support, maybe even detractor support.
Detractor support. That's really what it is, for sure. But yeah, the wonderful Wonderful episodes as usual. Shady Webcomics Weekly is the best form, but our best videos are behind the pig paywall. So check us out on Subscribestar, and for everyone else, should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.